met Father Felix 21 years ago when I came to India at the invitation of Father Ben. Father Ben was a chaplain in America at our local hospital, and my two oldest sons had already been working with him in India during high school and encouraged me to come. They promised I would love it here. When I got out of the airport that first time, Father Felix garlanded me and welcomed me to India. I have now been here over 50 times in the past 21 years. Clearly, my sons were right. I do love it here. Each and every time, until he was too sick to come, Father Felix welcomed me at the airport when I arrived and came to wish me a safe journey when I left. I will dearly miss his smiling face as I come and go from India. These past few days have been a time of terrible sadness and heartbreak for all of us. There have been and will continue to be many tears. But I have learned that it's important during these times to also celebrate the life of the person we lost. So I plan my remarks to be a celebration of the life of Albert Felix, who touched our hearts and enriched our lives in so many ways. Father Felix and I shared a love of children. I have 6, he had hundreds, and believed strongly in the importance of a quality education for all, girls as well as boys, the disenfranchised, and especially the poor. 16 years ago, we started Communities Rising with a single after-school program in the village of Periathature. By last year, we were teaching almost 2,000 students in 25 diocesan schools. We were also teaching about 400 students in our after-school program and another 500 students in our Lego robotics program. We've also helped to put almost 100 students through college. Father Felix was the behind-the-scenes facilitator. He made whatever calls were necessary to line up the schools and keep things going. I find the funding, develop the programs, and train the staff. Nelson, Ruggle, and Siva keep everything running smoothly, especially when I'm not here. Father Felix and I had different skill sets. He identified the need or the problem and expected me to find the money to solve the problem. When our phone calls ended with him saying, "I visited a family today that needs some help," or "this school needs whatever," I knew it was time for me to get back to work. He was one of the very few parish priests I have met who believe that parish schools are the key to the future of the parish and the church, and he acted upon it. The best example of his beliefs is St. Xavier's School. When he was assigned to St. Xavier's, his first order of business was to renovate the school. He added classrooms, painted, repaired everything. We were able to get an excellent grant that covered much of the work. At the same time, he made it clear that it was a parish school and should be supported by the parish. They did. Next, he added a kindergarten, believing that if the students came at age 4, they would then enroll in the primary school at age 5. He was right. Today, St. Xavier's is one of the few schools in the diocese whose enrollment is not declining. He understood that you needed more than walls and paint to provide a quality education. He made sure that the school was enrolled in CR's Accelerated Learning Program. I highly recommend that those of you with parish schools think about the example he set and do your best to follow it. In addition to his dedication to the children of his parishes, he welcomed everyone from all walks of life and tried to meet their needs. At his first parish, he built a school and was instrumental in making sure that 100% of the students advanced to 9th standard. He was dedicated to the hostel boys at Analardi, provided them with desks for their study hall. At Sam's, he welcomed the gypsies to the campus and sheltered them for the weeks when they were flooded during Tane. He was instrumental in helping Kavita, a double amputee, with getting an education from primary school through college and helping her to get prosthetics. He helped to educate countless boys and girls and agreed to take on and raise several orphans. Sino came when he was 7, when his grandmother couldn't care for him anymore. Sino's now 25 and works for us. Susan came to the CR house when he was 9. He's now 21 and is finishing his last year at Loyola in Chennai. Father was especially supportive of the young people, like Raul, who lost their parents at an early age and was very aware of the difficulties families had raising twins and tried to help with Nelson and Satish, starting when they were very young. Sinu, Satish, and Nelson have been by his side every day of these past 2.5 years since his cancer diagnosis. At an early age, they have now experienced the circle of life and learned how many of us grow up to take care of the persons who once took care of us. Without their help, love, and devotion, Father Felix would never have made it this far. He truly loved and appreciated them, as do I. I do not claim to have any expertise in who qualifies as a holy person. However, I do think I have some understanding of who is a good person. Father Felix was the best example I know of a truly good person. He was kind to everyone, unfailingly generous, slow to anger, and quick to forgive. I can honestly say that in the 21 years I knew him, he never said an unkind word about anyone, not ever. It's a rare quality, and one that I do not possess. He would listen when I vented my frustration about various people, some of them sitting in this church today. He would say that he understood why I felt that way, but nothing else. Frankly, I found it maddening, but I admired him for it. He taught me how to really see people, how to identify their needs. He also taught me to give more than I ever thought possible. I learned that there's always something we can do to help. We just have to figure out how. CR would never have been able to accomplish all that we've done without his constant help and support. His assistance during the pandemic, as you heard previously, was invaluable. Through his efforts, we were able to vaccinate 35,000 people, feed 10,000 families, and provide over 50,000 hot meals for the homeless. Even when he was struggling with his cancer this past year, he was excited to help with our relief efforts during the cyclone. He quickly identified those in need of help near the shrine and participated in handing out relief. He said it made him feel like he was really doing something worthwhile for one of the few times since he got sick. I'd like to thank the Archbishop for letting me speak today. I learned it is not a common practice here as it is in the U.S. I would also like to thank him for the tremendous financial support he provided to Father, especially this last year. Additionally, I want to thank Father Palomendas for transferring the funds as we needed and for help giving me a place to stay. The Archbishop could have chosen a less expensive treatment, but decided to go with a treatment that gave Father a better chance. The biggest worry that Father Felix had during his illness was the financial burden he was placing on the diocese, his family, and me. But he was also not ready to give up the fight. He wanted to keep trying. Sadly, his body had enough. Thank you also to Father's family for their love and ongoing support, and for agreeing to postpone today's funeral until I could get here. He was so proud of all of you and loved you dearly. I was just here in June and was planning to return in October, but each time I talked to him, I realized he was losing ground, and I kept moving my trip up. Just last week, I told him I'd be here next week. When Nelson and Satish called and told me that he was not doing well and they were admitting him to the hospital, I made my plane reservations for the next morning, but it wasn't soon enough for me to see him alive one more time. I'd like to close my remarks with an Irish prayer. I realize this is India, but I'm Irish, and Father Felix always enjoyed learning about other cultures. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. Until we meet again, my dear friend, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Roman Empire.